We're going to call our board briefing to order. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mr. Superintendent, do we have any public comments at this time? Presentations?
Good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Chair, board members. At this point, we do have no public presentations. We do have a presentation for honoring our veterans by Mr. Summer. I think that's a video presentation. Thank you, Mr. Sumner. As you know, we owe a debt of gratitude to all of our veterans of our service, armed services, and have particular interest in the ones that have chosen a second career with the Dougherty County school system. So what we did was ask all those employees who have served to take pictures. That we put a video presentation together. Mr. Sumner did that. We certainly want to thank him for his efforts, as well as the principals and department heads who arranged for the photos to be taken. But a special thank you to those veterans who served and to protect the freedoms of citizens of this country, and enable us to have to enjoy the lives that we're able to enjoy. We don't take that lightly, and we certainly do appreciate them. It was just a small token of our appreciation that we expressed a few minutes ago with the video presentation. And with that, Mr. Chair, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Will we need an executive session, Mr. Superintendent?
If time permits, we might need an executive session to discuss litigation and personnel, if time permits.
Thank you. Next, we will review the agenda items to give board members an opportunity to ask questions and to make comments. Beginning with item 1, consideration of the adoption of the minutes from our mid-month board meeting held on October 27th. Are there any questions or comments about our board meeting? Hearing none, we move to item 2, consideration of recommendation for employment of personnel. Are there any questions?
Hey, Ben.
Okay. Item number 3, consideration of recommendation for personnel, release of personnel. Are there any questions? Okay. Item 4, consideration of recommendation to approve fundraising request. Hearing none. Okay, you have a question, Ms. Poole?
Okay, Mr. Dyer, can we get an update on, or to remind the principals on the fundraiser policy? And can we get an update before the year's out on how many fundraisers each organization has had already?
Yes, ma'am. We certainly can.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Financial report, we're gonna give that later, Mr. Dyer.
We can give it later on now, sir, if you want to. It's do it right now.
All right, we'll go ahead and have it now if you're ready.
Yes, sir. As you can see, the actual fund balance beginning July 1st, 2021 was $30,796,259. Our expected revenue over expenditures actually is expenditures over revenue of slightly more than $2.6 million, which has our projected fund balance at June 30, 2022, $28,143,823. This is before any adjustments associated with our austerity cap reduction. As you know, as part of the ESSER funded continuity of services and an offset of general fund reductions is an allowable expenditure. And so what we will be doing as we get closer to the middle of the year, fiscal year, we'll make an adjustment, transfer expenditures from general fund to ESSER funded to offset the reduction of our QBE funding, and that will bring our operating performance for the year more in line with our budgeted performance that we projected toward the last fiscal year at the time the budget was adopted. So we anticipate closer to a break even fiscal year. But at this point, we haven't made the adjustment that'll make that reflected in the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Dyer. Board members, do you have any questions about our financial report?
Mr. Chairman,
Reverend Bush?
Brother, will there be additional funds received from Biden's $1 trillion?
So are you referring to the infrastructure bill that was recently passed?
Yes, sir.
No, sir, not in the line items specifically for schools. There will be some funds available that we may be able to tap into, but nothing specifically for school districts line item as it was in the ESSER fund of the American Rescue Plan. But there are some funds that for broadband and things of that nature that we may be able to tap into, and we're certainly exploring those opportunities.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other questions for board members? Okay. Moving on to committee reports. If you should have received from the Building and Ground Committee, I want to add item 6A and B. So, are there any questions from anyone about indoor air quality monitors in classrooms? Any questions, board members? Okay, and we need to add lighting control sensors in the classroom. That was 6A and B. Lighting control sensors in the classroom and indoor air quality monitors in the classroom. So we add that to on the committee. That would be 6A and B. Any questions? Okay, hearing none. Superintendent's report. Are you ready to do that now, Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will hear the superintendent's report at this time.
November 8th, 2021. Of course, as always, we'll start with our COVID-19 data for our community. Then we have our vaccination updates, looking at our COVID-19 safety protocols. We discussed staffing challenges briefly at the last meeting. We'll expound further on that. We'll discuss other items, open up for any questions you might have. Then an executive session for personnel and litigation, if time permits. As of Friday, November 5th, 2021, the 7-day rolling average of daily new cases in Dougherty County was 3.71. That's down from 6 at our last meeting, where we reported as of October 26th. Our 14-day spread is considered low, having 61 cases over the last 14 days. Our 2-week change is decreasing. Our PCR positivity rate is 0.7%, which is also down from the previous reporting period. As of Friday, November 5th, Phoebe Putney, Albany, had 25 COVID-19 patients. That was down from 40 COVID-19 patients at Phoebe, Albany, as of October 26, 2021. Our DCSS employee vaccination program, we have approximately 1,912 employees that have submitted documentation of being fully vaccinated. That's approximately 89% of our employees. That is a change from the last meeting. The last meeting I reported 1990. We had some employees who submitted documentation twice, and I did not capture. I captured those employees, 7, 8 employees who submitted documentation twice. So I backed those out. So now we're at 1,912 employees out of approximately 2,140 employees, which gives us a percentage of fully vaccinated employees of 89%. 303 of those became fully vaccinated after the board approved the incentive program. Vaccine booster shots, as you know, educators are not eligible for receive COVID-19 boosters. As of the last meeting, the only vaccination that was approved for the booster was the Pfizer vaccine. Now Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson are all approved for boosters. We've had 2 booster vaccination events. One on October 7th, we had 75 doses administered, and that was all Pfizer, because that was all that was available at the time. And on November 5th, we had 138 doses. That's type of the doses were administered. A combination of Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Youth vaccination eligibility. Last week, pediatric Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine was authorized for 5 to 11-year-old patients. Of those 12 and older were already eligible to receive the original version of the vaccine. The pediatric version of the vaccine is 2 dose series taken 3 weeks apart, and it's 1/3 the dose of the vaccine for adolescents and adults. We have a vaccination event scheduled, another vaccination event scheduled for Saturday, November 13th, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. At Monroe High School for ages 5 and up. For information, looking at our vaccination update also by age, and this is for Dougherty County. The graph is there just for so you can see those are age bands, with the lowest to the left being ages 10 through 14 at 22.3% have received 1 dose. The next is age 15 to 19, 35.5% have received 1 dose. I wanted to highlight those because those are our school-age children. We don't have the numbers for 5 to 9 just yet, because those individuals just became eligible to receive the vaccine. For Dougherty County total, 50.5% of citizens in Dougherty County have received 1 dose of the vaccine, and 45.5% of citizens in Dougherty County are fully vaccinated. As you can see, the age groups between 10 to 14 and 10 to 19 are below the overall average, and we're working to do more awareness so that parents may have an opportunity to vaccinated. We see that we have a comment. Uh,
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bush, we have another person, the superintendent, getting ready to answer his question. Then we'll hear you.
Sir, if you could go to the mic and ask the question so that the members who listen online can hear. Everyone could hear the question. Sir, yes, sir.
I was just wondering if the Dougherty County School System employees are under the currently suspended mandate of the president.
No, sir.
They're not.
No, sir. We're not mandating it. We're not mandating vaccines for any of our employees.
Good. Thank you.
Reverend Bush.
Mr. Dye, I am personally, I think the mandate is real good because, you know, I have rights too, so I think that everyone have some rights, but and I like the idea. I know that you are not totally for expressing and incentives for people to get the shots, but it helps. I noted with interest that the county and Phoebe working this past weekend and outstanding. And it's bad that you have to give people incentives to get the shot, but really, we are seeing, Mr. Dye, is that it helps the whole community as a whole, because you become ultimately a herd community, and that is goal, in my opinion, to get as many people as possible get that shot in the arm, and thusly many of them will not create problems for, you know, people who have the shot. I just wanted to make that comment, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Bush. Are there any other comments from board members?
That topic.
Okay.
Not,
Mr. Superintendent.
couple of things. As you know, we have a multifaceted approach to our COVID-19 mitigation efforts. Our DCSS COVID-19 stated protocols are probably some of the most comprehensive you will find anywhere. Started with indoor universal masking for indoors, except when actively eating or drinking. Desk shields for our pre-K to middle school students. Cafeteria shields and cafeteria temperature checks, hand sanitizer stations, our enhanced cleaning, needle point bipolar ionization, indoor air cleaning devices in our schools and on our buses, and COVID-19 testing each week for our students, as well as visitor restrictions. From the onset of our response to COVID-19, we have said that our response will be conditions-based, and we have been able to remain in school this year without having to pivot to virtual learning, in large part due to the comprehensive protocols that we have in place. As you can see by the data presented earlier with our community-wide COVID-19 information, our cases are down significantly from over 50 cases, averaging over 50 cases per day, to less than 4 cases per day. Our positivity rate going from double digits to 0.7% positivity. Our 14-day count, as measured County used by the Department of Public Health has gone to 6 to 1, and our spread is considered to be low. Our cases in our hospital have gone down to some of the lowest we've seen. And because our response is conditions-based, there is our conditions have changed significantly for the better. And so we will be having conversations with our principals tomorrow about revising some of our safety protocols to reflect the much improved conditions as it relates to COVID in our community and in our schools. Comments by that?
Any question, board members, comments to the superintendent?
Mr. Dunn, I think that's a good idea, but I still think that teachers and the staff, they have some rights too, and that the people that they are teaching every day, if they are not vaccinated, it just, to me, it could possibly cause a problem for our staff, and that's why I think that we ought to, try to do everything possible to encourage clients to get the shot.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Reverend Bush. Any other board member?
I'll reserve my comment.
Okay. All right, Ms. Poole.
Two other things, Mr. Chair. We discussed staffing challenges at the last board meeting, and we've had those discussions ongoing. We are down 30 plus custodial positions out of 160. We're down, I forgot the number of bus drivers, we're down significantly with our bus drivers to the point we've had double routes. We had to charter some buses to take our athletic teams out of town because we hadn't had enough bus drivers at certain points to run the afternoon routes and take teams out of town. We've had some delays in students, not necessarily delays, but longer, a later arrival time for afternoon bus routes, and particularly those after school bus routes, because of a shortage of bus drivers. So we continue to be challenged with that. We were being proactive with that. We offered pay increases to those employees. As you know, we mentioned that we made that a priority in our 2022 budget to make it provide everyone with a pay increase, but larger pay increases percentage-wise for those employees that are on the lower end of the scale, to enhance our employee benefits, to provide social and emotional support events throughout the year. We've had one each month, and we provided retention incentives last year. Factors contributing to the continued challenges of the labor market continues to be volatile. Educators are working under stressful working conditions, as cited by Ed Week magazine survey. Employees, teachers are twice as likely to experience job-related stress, and 3 times as likely to have depression-like symptoms than the general working population. And then we also have recruitment incentives and increased pay in other industries. As a matter of fact, the city of Albany announced a $1,000 sign-in bonus for bus drivers through the transit department, and some of our bus drivers, quite frankly, are interested in that, and as well they would be. So we're having discussions about how to offset that. One thing that we're looking at doing, again, we are continuing our enhanced benefits, our social and emotional events, but the retention incentives. We want to recommend continuing to offer retention incentives semi-annually in either November or December, and again in May for those employees who are employed at that time. Is that a recommendation that will be continuing through forever? No, I don't think so. But at least until we get past this job market, as you can see, and many places you go through the community throughout throughout the country, actually, but particularly we're focusing on our community. You'll see hiring signs.
Everywhere.
You'll see in some service-driven businesses, restaurants, other service industry companies, establishments. They'll put a sign up saying, "Please excuse longer wait times, yada yada," because we're short staffed, and so the level of service we have some fast food restaurants who drive through on it because they can't, they don't have enough staff to provide full service, so it's drive through on it. Not because of COVID concerns at this point, but because of staffing issues. And so there's a shortage there, and as the employer of over 2,100 individuals, we're not immune to those challenges, and we're trying to do everything we reasonably can to retain employees and to attract employees. As you know, as we stated earlier, the Auburn Herald, based on survey results, recognized Dougherty County as the best overall large organization to work for, that had best benefits program and made best leadership thanks to our principals and other leaders in the school system. So we're doing those things to make the employee experience in the Dougherty County school system an experience that is a pleasant experience. So when it comes right down to it, we have to do more to not only attract but to retain those employees that we currently have. And the recommendation is being made to continue offering retention incentives semi-annually in either the November, December month and May. And so that recommendation will come in the form of with numbers and formal recommendation at the December meeting. Just wanted to make that before members are aware of that forthcoming recommendation. Other information. This month is Family Engagement Month, and you'll see our Department of Family Community Engagement is having a Count Me In campaign for this month. Informed, involved, and invested. The 2021 Family Engagement Month, they have a series of activities and opportunities for engagement with our families. As you know, educating children is not just the job of the school system. It is our primary responsibility, and we're the organization responsible for that. But we can't do it without support of our parents, and indeed our entire community, but particularly our parents. We have to partner with them. Without their cooperation, our job will be much harder than they already are. So we want to thank our parents and our other family members of the Dougherty County school system who work with us throughout the year to help meet the needs of our students, whether they're academic needs or non-academic needs. We certainly want to thank them and express our appreciation for their partnership with us as we meet the academic and non-academic needs of the students we've been called to serve. And I just want to make sure that we acknowledge our families, for which we appreciate so much. Other information, the Joint Redistricting Committee that we discussed earlier this year. As you know, redistricting is upon us. And in the past, the Dougherty County Board of Education and the Dougherty County Commission had a joint committee with 3 members from each body joining that joint committee. And there was discussion about doing that again this year. And this board was amenable to that. And I've been informed by Mr. McCoy, the county administrator, that their board has, that their chairman has appointed 3 members from the county commission. Of course, it is the responsibility of our chairperson, our chairman, to appoint 3 members from this board as a special committee, and Dr. Kennedy is prepared to do so in the coming days for us to have a joint committee with the Dougherty County Commission to make a recommendation on redistricting for this cycle. A few other announcements: College and Career Academy of the Year reception. As you know, Commodore Conyers College and Career Academy was named 2021 Georgia College and Career Academy of the Year for the entire state. I want to say that again, for the entire state of Georgia. And they have a reception for the board, their board, the board of directors, the board of foundation board of directors, and Dougherty County Board of Education, and other invitees on November 15th at 5 to 6 p.m. at the Commodore Conyers College Free Academy Community Room. Our annual Thanksgiving luncheon will be a grab and go format this year. Because of COVID protocols, we won't have a sit down meal as we typically have. That'll be in the boardroom here on Thursday, November 18th, from 11:45 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. Board members, please come by anytime during that time period to fellowship with some of the employees and to grab a lunch to go. Finally, the Georgia School Board Association annual conference will be held in person, but we'll have a virtual option between December 1st and 3rd, 2021. The in-person event will be held at the Renaissance Waverly Hotel in Atlanta, and the virtual course will be link will be sent out for those participating virtually. That would include the pre-conference sessions as well as the in-person session. Do we have any questions?
Members, do you have any questions? Ms. Pooh, are you ready now to ask your question?
Yeah, it's not really a question. It's just
But don't appear to have any questions. Board members don't have any questions, so you go ahead now and make your statement.
I just wanted to say, I know, Mr. Dyer, we always have negative comments, but I want to let you know that I heard a lot of comments about the booster vaccination setup, that how smooth transition it was the other week. So we certainly appreciate your staff and PV and Albany Primary Health Care to make that a possibility for our staff. There was a lot of comments on that for the first time that I've seen in a long time. Also, I just want to make sure that I'm clear to know that I do not look forward to us mandating vaccination. I believe that that's an individual right, and because we can continue to encourage and have those processes for our staff and for the students. But with the numbers declining, with the protocol we put in place, that shows that our staff are doing the things necessary to keep our students safe and themselves. We would like to, again, have a discussion later on, because I think our custodians are the ones at the bulk of that cleaning, and we need to show them that we appreciate them, because without them, our children and our staff won't stay. So I certainly appreciate that. I encourage that you continue to encourage the staff to go. Like the city says, 75% vaccinated.
The goal for the community was the Drive to 75 campaign.
So,
and we're at 89%.
So that's what I wanted to say, that we're at as a district at 89%. So we exceeded that expectation. Look forward to more.
Right.
But I think that's an individual right to decide whether or not they choose to get vaccinated or not. I'm just thank you for what you and your staff are doing with the protocols in place. Thank you.
Any more? Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, this is not a question, this is just a comment. I just want to express to Dougherty County School System for doing a very good job with my children. And my boy, he is just retired from the United States Army, and he graduated from Monroe High School, and he earned the rank of lieutenant colonel. I think that shows that we have some good people doing some good things in our school system. I just think the teachers and the entire staff are doing a very good job, and under the conditions, and especially when you see other people getting a little bit more money for retirement, you know, and this, as Ms. Pooh stated, it helps to take care of your employees, and I know that Mr. Dye is doing a good job of it, and we just thank him and this entire school of what they're doing. We give God all of the glory.
Thank you, Reverend Bush. Are there any other comments?
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Utley?
yes, please. I'd simply like to say thank you to our superintendent for taking care of himself. I very much appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Utley. Okay.
I have to do a better job as hell. I need to go to the gym more, but I'm working on it.
At this time,
You may depend on me to worry you until you get it right.
Yes,
and stay
ma'am.
there.
I certainly do. I expect that.
All right.
okay. If there are no other comments at this time, we will end our briefing and we'll call to order our regular board meeting. We will stand and have a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Yes.
of the United States. One nation, under God. We will note change in our agenda. That is, we'll add 6A and B to our agenda. And I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Dr. Fennessy, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended, adding
Hud-
6A lighting control sensors
Hudley.
and 6B indoor air quality sensors.
Hardly seconds.
All right. Thank you. It's been popular motion and second that we approve our agenda with the changes of adding 6A and 6B. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. The agenda is approved. Consideration for the adoption of the minutes for the mid-month board meeting held on October 27th.
So move.
Second.
All right, proper motion second that our minutes be adopted for our mid-month board meeting held on October 27th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No opposed, the ayes have it. Yes,
I motion for to have a consent agenda including 6A and 6B, sir.
is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
In public motion, we need a second
Second.
for consent agenda. Oh, Reverend Bush, okay. Been public motion second for consent agenda including 6A and B. All in favor of the motion, be known by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No opposed. The ayes have it. Any other item for discussion at this time? Remind. The appointments for redistricting, we're supposed to appoint 3 members, Reverend Bush, Ms. Poole, and Ms. Stroper. Those are the members that will work on redistricting with the county. Is there anything else that should come before us before we proceed to close? Mr. Superintendent, you don't have anything else? Another board member? Our minds are clear?
I motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
Motion and second that we adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I have it. Our meeting is adjourned.